Hello everyone, I'm back. This time I'm talking about Jordan B. Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. Uh, Here's how the cover looks in case you want to buy it, you want to read it. I recommend it, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about it because usually people recommend books but they don't tell you why. So well, I want to make it a little bit different. Before I start, I want to thank you all for texting me and saying and just being supportive of me starting YouTube. And yeah, just I wasn't expecting it. Uh, this is what I was talking about before when I said I wanted to see new things. I wanted to feel maybe new experiences, and this is definitely one because I'm not used to people encouraging me like that in such a genuine way, because I've never also started something on my own like this. This is the first time. So it's good to just have a good start, and also a good moment to mention something I've learned and something I use every day, I think. I appreciate it and I'm glad, but I try not to care too much about positive comments and positive texts of people, because then it's too easy to care about people being negative towards you. So I remind myself that I'm doing this because I like it. I'm doing it for people, but not because of the people. And that's, I think, something nice to share with you. Okay, let's start with the book. Okay, so the book. I haven't read all of it. I started in 2018 and I didn't finish it now. Starting again, and I already finished chapter 1. And there's a lot I can say. I mean, just by reading chapter 1 for the second time, I can recommend this book and I can say why I like it so much, and I can see how it's gonna be the rest of it. So real quick, I'm gonna tell you who Jordan B. Peterson is in case you don't know. He's a well-known psychologist. He was a professor at Harvard, the University of Toronto. He was named by the New York Times #1 most influential thinker of the Western Hemisphere in 2018. He has studied vast majority of psychology fields. He has studied religions. You can see like a full list of all things he has done just by googling his name. Very impressive person. And yeah, so the book is composed by 12 chapters, and each chapter is ruled. I'm gonna read you a few of them just so you can get an idea of how it is. So #1, stand up straight with your shoulders back. #2, treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. #11, I'm really curious about this one, is do not bother children when they are skateboarding. So see, it's just like a simple list, apparently simple, but it's way deeper than what it seems. And okay, so why do I like it so much? If you're like most of people I've seen in my generation, or even if you're an older or younger generation, you probably like learning fun stuff and learning like fun facts that no one else knows, or really few people know. And we all, at some point, we spend time on YouTube watching, I don't know, dogs skateboarding. Like, when I saw that like 2 weeks ago, I was just like, wow, like dogs can skateboard? That's crazy. Like, he was really following a person skateboarding. Like, the person was skateboarding and the dog was behind it on a skateboard, and it was like, walking with the skateboard first and then getting on it and just, letting the impulse taken. It was just like a kid. So yeah, we all spend like a lot of time on YouTube, right? Sometimes watching videos about fun stuff, about things that are not so maybe transcendental, but they're fun to learn. And this book has both, I think. So you don't need to like psychology that much to enjoy this book, or you don't need to be a transcendent thinker. You can just learn about life, about humans, and just things that we don't know. And we should know, because it just makes us realize that we are sometimes we're just not as right as we think. So like, first thing he says, first 20 pages in the first chapter is about evolutionary psychology. So I could just explain what that is, but that's boring. I'm going to show you what he actually says. He shows how factors of our psychology, like of our behavior, like society and government and status, is just a natural thing, and it's not something we created. It's something that has been in nature and in life for since day one. Since day one, it's been around us, and it's natural. And it's inevitable that there's always a higher status. There's always something that seems unfair because there is like, for example, when people have more money, like 1% of people have the same amount of money of the bottom 3.5 billion people. So as much as it seems unfair, it's natural. It's so natural that he explains it so well. I was saying the first pages, he talks a lot about animals, like lobsters, chickens, wolves, birds, and they all have a hierarchy system. They all fight for it. Like, at one point he says that birds, I think you can hear him right now, like outside my house. Birds, when they sing many times, if not all of them, there are actually like war screams, like telling other people, other birds, not to get close because that's their territory. So it's not as sweet as we hear it when we hear like birds singing. No, it's more aggressive and aggressive. It's just aggressive and actually just like a war signal of, don't get closer, I'm not gonna like it, bad things are gonna happen. Same with lobsters. They all, small amount of lobsters deep in the ocean have like the same all territory, all the female lobsters, the best food, the best places to live, away from other predators. Same, he tells a very interesting story about birds. When he was younger, he made a house, like he built 2 houses actually for birds, and he kept one, and the other one he gave it to his neighbor. So one bird came to his house, to his little house, the one he made, and he started living there. And after a while, he realized there was just another house like that one, close, very close, in the neighbor's house. And when he realized that, after a while, he started filling that house with sticks and everything he could find, just so another bird couldn't just live in the same area. It's not in the same house, just the same area. And I mean, I do it all the time. And I didn't realize like how similar, like how natural it is, because I judge myself too. Like I judge myself because when I go to class, I feel like I'm an antisocial piece of shit because I sit down and I do it, but I still judge myself. I put my backpack on the right spot, on the right chair, and I put my hat on the left side, and also sometimes my phone, so no one gets close to me and I don't have to like talk to anyone, or I can just focus on class. And I could be missing something because someone interesting might sit next to me, but still I was judging myself, maybe, like not only on that, but you can judge yourself, judge other people, and at the end it's all very natural. It's just what life is about. Is something is being present in living like conscious life, or maybe not so conscious, because animals are not that conscious, but a little bit, I think. And yeah, so it's inevitable. It's not something we can fight. And yeah, it just makes me feel more tolerant. And I mean, I get all these insights, all this more like deeper thoughts, but at the end, just learning this stuff, these little facts, like lobsters, when they fight, they have rituals for every fight. They have level 1, level 2, level 3. He explains all of them, and they're all very interesting and sometimes funny, because they have like, it's, how do I say that? It's more than just animals. It's more than just automatic behavior. It's like they actually, I mean, it's like they're wired in a very human way for us, but it's actually very primitive and belongs to life. We just been copying the same thing, or we just instinctively instinctively, I don't know how to say that word, we do it because we're just as alive as them. And yeah, it's just an interesting book you can read. I wish I could say more, or some things that might not make as much sense right now. I know I talk a lot. I go different topics at the same time, so it's kind of confusing. But it's just a really interesting book you can read, and you can just get a really, it really opens your mind about some stuff, and that's only first chapter. And I'm just waiting to see what else I'm gonna find here, because I don't know, it's very impressive. Some other interesting thing, when he was talking about, some people say how unfair is that the money is always, the majority of money is always owned by the 1% of population. Well, if you also think about it, he made a really good example on how classical classical music, it's like the one we know, the most known classical music. It's all made by the four same people: Bach, Mozart, Beethoven. I don't know who the other guys, but it's just four people, and there's probably hundreds of composers that were never heard, and we never heard of them. And the funny thing too is that from all those four, just like a very small amount of their pieces were known, and all the rest of their work was forgotten. And that's, I mean, I don't know if that doesn't open your mind. Well, it opens mine, and I think it's worth to talk about it, because we really don't realize how natural it is. And well, I mean, the chapter at the end, it has that's the way I see it. I see it in a really it's not superficial, but like I'm not talking about what he actually, the main point he makes in that chapter. That is more about confidence, because it's called Stand Up Straight with Your Shoulders Back. It's more about confidence, about how your posture can physically affect your brain connections. What else? Yeah, he's more about confident, how people should be more should have more courage and value to do some things. But that, if you don't like the idea, like I like it, but I respect that, I like it. I think it's a great advice, but at the end, it's the way he gives the advice that actually matters. It's like the details he uses to explain it. That's what the book is so good, I think. So yeah, just, if you don't give a shit about psychology, you just want to learn fun facts and cultivate your mind reading a book made about a great thinker, then you should definitely read this. I don't know if I'm gonna do a full review when I finish it, or maybe if I find another chapter that is gonna be crazy and is gonna give me a lot of things to say. But yeah, for now I made this because I believe in what I just said is meaningful. Let me know what you think, of course, and I'll be working on next videos for next times. Thank you. Like I said on the first video, I think it's gonna become my motto now. Keep living.